That's gonna be fun to edit.
You almost made me lose it. I've heard him stumbling out of the gate, but that is that is falling out of your bed through a crack in the floor down the gates of hell. Like there's never been a more serious crash and burn than Dale Earnhardt.
Hello and welcome to this week's. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Side Splitters. My name is Lyle.
And back from the dead is Andy.
He's back. And our goal tonight is to leave you in stitches. How are you, Andy?
Oh my god. I'm still like semi-recovering from what can only be described from doctors as a miracle of medical science. We can't believe a woman has progressed this far into being a Wait, no, that's the wrong chart. I was out for a severe upper respiratory infection, which I guess is the doctor's way of saying that my lungs are no-no. And they gave me some wonderful antibiotics, some wonderful knockout juice cough suppressant, and well wishes. Which, honestly, it was the well wishes, the warm hug, and the lollipop at the end of the appointment that made it, super sweet for me.
Did you actually get a lollipop?
I did. I still have it, too.
Are you serious?
I didn't eat it. Yeah, I did. It's in there.
What doctor do you have?
I don't know. Old one?
He gave you, was it requested?
Yeah, damn right. I wasn't going to leave there without a lollipop.
All right.
I mean, he kind of was like, really?
Okay.
I know you have them.
Listen, old man.
Yeah, let me tell you something. Few things in this world give me joy and comfort. And sugary, delicious treats that would normally go to children, but are now not because I'm taking them, is definitely one of those things.
And look, I might be sick with this upper respiratory, whatever you called it, but you're still older than Clint Eastwood, and I will fight you over a lollipop.
No, I did not want to get him all like Gran Torino on my ass. I'd rather not go through that fight. But side note, I had to laugh because at work when I told somebody that I had a severe URI, they're like, "You have an infection in your bladder?" Like, no, that's a UTI. Son of a bitch.
That's great.
And every day after that, he kept asking me, "Is like, so how's your bladder today?"
You being straight, my man?
Does it smell like walnuts? Like, shut up.
Does it smell like walnuts?
But I gotta tell you, from clawing my way back from the dead, the entire time it was happening, I was either wishing for sweet death or, just to be instantly better. And I think the one thing that I was missing from it, because I don't know how it is, you never have a lot of people around when you're sick because I guess they're afraid they're gonna catch something. Ooh. Like, yeah, no, I'm totally gonna face fuck you and give you an STD in your brain, and you visiting me was gonna be the final nail in your health's coffin. But you get lonely, and I was thinking to myself man, I could use some companionship.
Oh no.
And I was thinking, it'd be a great companion to have. Maybe a Mogwai. I wouldn't mind having a Mogwai. Those things from Gremlins. Can't get wet. Don't feed after midnight.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind one of those to cuddle and squeeze and then, fall asleep with a bag of chips and have it eat something, and then it turns into one of those reptile things and it gets into a bunch of mischief, and then I gotta go on an adventure while in the meantime discovering myself and those around me. And, I really wanted that to happen. Have you ever had that moment?
The moment where I wanted a Mogwai?
Well, just a mythical pet.
Huh.
You ever have just one of those things like Falcor from Neverending Story,
or okay, so kind of. And here's the mythical pet that I want isn't necessarily it may already exist, it may not already exist, and it's totally selfish. Um, has nothing to do with companionship or anything like that. Uh, it has everything to do with. So just to be clear here, can we count people as pets?
No, no, no,
All right, well that just changes my answer.
no. They are not allowed to have sentience, and you cannot have sex with them.
Oh, well that changes a couple answers then. I mean, it was going to be Rihanna.
Well, I mean, obviously.
We're like Carmen Electra from 20 years ago.
Wait. Can I change my answer?
I mean, it might even be Carmen Electra from today. I don't know what she looks like anymore, but my God, I used to have such a thing for her back in the day.
And it seemed like she never aged. Like I was convinced that she was kept alive by genie wishes.
Yeah, like Pamela Anderson, you can legitimately see the plastic growing out of her.
Yeah.
Carmen Electra is just. What's the answer you wanted to change?
Um, I want a ditto.
Fair, but I thought you just said we couldn't have sex with it.
Well, technically, I'm not having sex. I'm breeding.
You plan on impregnating the Ditto?
Well, I mean, at least get an egg.
I don't want that egg.
I, well, I'll take it. It might be a shiny.
It's going to be an Andy.
Yeah.
It's always going to be an Andy.
Oh yeah. Could you imagine like a little giraffe necked me with big old glasses?
It's not going to be giraffe necked.
Why not?
It's going to be you.
Yeah. And
It's going to be the same you every time. It might be shiny. The chances of it being shiny are all depending on, where you got the Ditto from. Because if it was Japan, then it has better chances of being a shiny Andy.
no, it needs to be from an English speaking country because I need to direct it on what to morph into.
Fair. I don't want to talk about Pokemon anymore. So the pet that I would want,
Uh,
Andy is Jones, and Pokemon Sun and Moon is coming out Friday, and
I'm so psyched.
the pet I would want, it's kind of selfish. I would want a pet that can transport me places. Um,
Ooh, flying?
it doesn't have to be flying, but if it gets me to where I need to be quicker and safer, then yes. What I
Let's say,
mean by
how
that,
often has your feet been more than 10 feet from the ground?
well, yeah, I don't mind flying. I fly in airplanes plenty of times. I don't have a problem with flying.
Huh.
And if I'm allowed to make this creature up, it's certainly going to be wide enough that I don't have to worry about learning how to balance myself on it. Um, but something that can get me distances that I would rather not have to drive to, or pay expensive amounts of money to fly to.
Okay.
For example, if I can get to Atlantic City and home from Atlantic City without having to worry about driving, the amount of liquor I drink, and the amount of time it takes me to get from point A to point B, that's awesome. If I can get to Philadelphia for a cheesesteak and it is convenient enough that I don't mind going there for just a cheesesteak, awesome. If I can go to Colorado to visit my family and it doesn't have to cost me $400 just to get there, awesome. You see what I'm getting at here?
I get you. So you want like free transport out of your pet.
Here's the difference though. See, I don't want to have to worry about parking it somewhere. So if it can either transform to something compactable, or something compactable, or even be smart enough to fly back home and to come back when I need it again, that's great.
Hmm. See, ergo the Ditto thing, because the Ditto could be could be a biplane and then a pack of cigarettes.
Can it? Can it transform into anything, or is it just Pokemon?
I'm gonna assume it's anything.
I mean, if we give it enough time, they'll make a biplane Pokemon and a pack of cigarettes Pokemon. But as of right now, unless you count Latios and Latios, those things don't exist.
Fair.
I mean, we do have a keychain Pokemon. I guess it could transform into that.
Ah, yeah, see? It could. Okay, so off of Pokemon. Cause yeah. Um, I don't know. Like, it's funny. I thought about this. Like, do I want something that?
For the listening audience, Andy is at about quarter to midnight right now.
Yeah.
He's got a bit of a chub going. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Do I love these pants. You like what you see? Um, so the I'm actually curious because at this point, like, we don't really want between you and I, we don't want the pet for companionship. We want the pet for utility.
Absolutely. Yes. If
When was
it's
the
going,
last time you had a pet that you had for companionship? Like, do you have a favorite pet?
I do.
Is it still alive?
No.
Oh,
It has not been for some years now, but yeah,
okay.
it's certainly my favorite. It was a dog. It was a basset hound. Her
A
name was
basset hound.
her name was Jasmine. We called her Jazz for short. Hands down, my favorite dog I have ever met in my life. She was so fat, she had butt cheeks, and she was a basset hound. So when she ran, it was already funny enough looking, but when she ran and all of a sudden she was automatically twerking, it was 20 times funnier.
Oh my god.
It's kind of gross to think about now, but at the time, seeing it, just every roll of hers jiggling everywhere was hysterical. Especially because when she would run, her legs being so far apart, they wouldn't stay straight, and she would start fishtailing to the side.
Oh my god.
And she didn't run often, so when it happened, it was a rarity as it is, and it was just a sight to see, really. But no, other than that, she was just a cool as hell dog. She was very obedient. She was very nothing made her happier than food. She was my spirit animal. There was a moment. So while we had this dog, we had three other dogs as well, and one of them was another Basset Hound, and the other two were two Pomeranians. Now, if you know anything about Pomeranians, uh,
Pan Americans, yes.
Pomeranians are so easy to be spoiled. They are incredibly. I don't like those dogs, Andy.
They have an ingrained arrogance about them.
They do. They prance around, and I don't like them. Um, so these dogs were no different. Okay, one of them wasn't so bad. It was the male. The male was the terrible one. He was spoiled beyond belief. It was to the point that he no longer had a taste for dog food, so he had to be given human food or he would refuse to eat. And the human food could not be in a bowl as degrading as a dog bowl. It had to be on a paper or ceramic dish
Oh my god.
that we also ate off of. He would not
And
drink. It gets worse. He would not drink tap water. It had to be either bottled or filtered water. I wanted to. I wanted to do terrible things to this dog, so I'm gonna leave it at.
I already too. Like, I mean, I would let that bitch starve.
Yeah, it was not a favorite of mine. So what was great about it was watching my favorite dog, Jazz. Because God forbid we put the food somewhere for him to get it. Because he ate on his terms, not on yours. Just because the food was ready does not mean he was going to eat it right away.
Oh
You
my
put it
god.
down and he would eat it when he was ready. Now, when you live in a house with three other dogs, you don't have that luxury, dude. You have to eat. Especially when one of them jiggles when she breathes. so, so, we put it down next to him, and he would always be next to uh, it was my aunt's father that lived with us, and he would always that was like his favorite person to be next to at all times. So if Jazz got too close to the food, he would say like, I see you, like back up. What are you doing? That's his food. Don't eat that. Kind of scold her a little bit, and she would kind of back off. But it was the best thing in the world to see her like military crawl. This is an overweight basset hound, military crawling, nudging towards the food whenever someone looked the other direction. So you would literally look away at the TV. You look down, and she's like 3 inches closer, just kind of looking at you through the corner of her eye. And as soon as she got close enough, she would just come in, grab the entire plate, pull it away, and just eat as much of it as she can before it got snatched away from her and she had to run off.
So just a living log of a dog then.
Yeah, it was great.
Those freaking little Pomeranians, man. Like I do not like little koosh balls. Like I didn't like playing with little koosh balls when I was a kid. Certainly when all the little pissant little trifling bitches on the school bus would have them and just be like, haha, we're playing with something neat that you can't play with, or throw them at you, and then they cry when you don't give it back. It's like, oh, of course I'm not going to give it back. You're going to throw it at me again. That's how I feel about Pomeranians. Like, they're the stupid little, haha, you can't have one of these because you're not sophisticated to have one, but even if you do have one, it's a piece of shit. Like, that is Pomeranians in a nutshell. They are little koosh balls that I want nothing to do with.
That's the most accurate description I've ever heard in my life. But my Basset Hound though, she was the shit. So that was my favorite pet. But why do you ask?
No, I was just curious because I know some people have like, different differences over the years, and I hear way more people talk about favorite dogs than favorite cats.
Well, see, that is the favorite animal I've ever personally owned. Now, I will say this much. You've met my cat recently.
Yeah.
The last pet that I have owned was the cat that you have met before. And that was it was just a black cat. Um, Unfortunately, problems arose. I no longer could take care of it, and my buddy ended up taking over responsibilities for it. And I still get to see him every once in a while, and he still does some of the little shenanigans that I'd like to think that I taught him. For example, if you stick your fist out, he will still dap it with his forehead, which I think is cool as shit. Uh, and I've recently been informed that he still, in fact, loves bottle caps, steals them, and no one knows where he hides them. Still.
Saving up for the apocalypse. That's what he's doing.
And that's exactly what it was, because at the time I was collecting bottle caps, so like I just got him to play with bottle caps, and I was telling my buddy at the time, like, one day he's going to know how to steal bottle caps from people, because we held enough parties at this house that bottle caps were going to be thrown about. So
Right.
I was like, one day he's going to learn how to steal bottle caps, not body caps. Bottle
Body caps
caps.
would be weird.
He's going to learn how to steal bottle cap. Moving right past that, from people, and he's going to have a whole stash, and it's going to be added to mine, and it's going to be awesome. I always imagined he would be like my Abu from Aladdin. um, so he was really cool. I'm not going to lie. Like, I really did enjoy that cat, but in terms of absolute favorite of all time, have to give that to Jazz. It was fat and awesome. Like I said, my spirit animal.
Well, half that's right.
Thanks.
Love you.
So how about you? You have a favorite animal or no?
I did, and I mean, coincidentally, it was very fat.
They're the best kind.
They really are because they're not spastic, they're not hyper, they're just like oh hi, like they get exhausted loving you, and man, there's just something satisfying about seeing another living thing be exhausted from loving you.
It's like you wake up in the morning and you look over and it's just like, what do you want to do today, animal? And
Yeah.
it just gives you this look like, can it be nothing? Because nothing sounds awesome. I knew I loved you for a reason.
Well, the only thing I want to do today is have you feed me. Like, oh well, touche, fat animal.
It's the only thing
I want you to not poop on the carpet. Well, we'll start with the food and then we'll go from there.
No promises.
No, he was a fat cat. He was a fat cat.
I want you not to poop on the carpet. Well, I suggest you get Friskies this time and not a dollar store crap.
Honestly, I don't even remember what we fed him.
Was it lasagna? Did he despise Mondays?
At some point, it might have been lasagna, but here's the thing. I legitimately do not remember getting specifically food for this cat. I think it legitimately ate people food the entire time we had it, and I don't remember actively feeding it.
Wait, can I ask a question? Was it the cat that when it sat down, it could cover a pizza box.
Yes, that one.
Rob told me about that cat.
Yeah, it's a huge cat. This cat was legit, like, if he wasn't, he was pushing over 40 pounds.
God.
It was a ringtail tabby, and we called him Lion-O.
Of course you did.
And he, like, he was a great cat. He got declawed in the front, but, like, he would get you on the backhand. Like, he had his back paws that he would box you with. And I don't know how he figured that out to do it, but he did. And he didn't like being picked up, I think because he like you is now afraid of gravity, or was. Just something distrusting about falling down because you don't know how much damage it'll do.
Oh, wonderful.
To either yourself or collateral. But
Are you done?
I mean, I guess I could be, but yeah. So he, like, I don't remember feeding him. Like, we never laid down a bowl and put food in it. Like, I think he trolled the dinner table, or he trolled maybe the actual stovetop. I have no idea. Like, now that I think about it, like, that was never a ritual. Like, we never took care of him. He lived in the house and survived of his own will.
Did you guys have a mouse problem?
No.
Well, there you go.
I mean, granted, we had a pretty messy, cluttered household. Like 10 times better than, or 10 times worse, I should say, than any bachelor pad that I could think of. Like, we're talking like college frat, like, maybe a pizza box left over from 2 days ago kind of bad. And, like, maybe he survived off of that stuff. I have no idea.
Neat. Yeah, I got nothing else to say. That was just neat. All right. All right. So how about the imaginary animal thing? What would you?
Anything that shapeshifts.
Still on that thing, huh?
Yeah, well, I can't commit. Like, that's my problem. I can't just pick one thing. I want as many options as possible. So, here's the thing.
Oh
Because
my God.
I say,
Do you know what you would want?
Huh.
You would want Rush. Mega
Man's dog?
Yes, Mega Man's dog.
I mean, yeah, he shapeshifts, but, like, I want something with options beyond that. Now, I said nothing human and nothing you could have sex with. So, I'm going to see if this fits any bills. I want a genie as a pet. Now, bear with me here.
I'm not okay with this.
Why?
Well, because all right, I get the djinn is not a human, but
Not human, no, and I'm not having sex with it.
why? I've played The Sims. You can.
I mean, you can, but I'm not.
I mean, you can make that argument for me with Rihanna.
No, because Rihanna's human.
Oh,
I mean,
in your eyes, maybe.
She's
I see her above that.
sculpted from the most beautiful onyx I've ever seen, but she's still human.
Yes, and as all the listeners know, Andy does have the jungle fever now.
Ow!
Well, I mean, before it was, not a fan of the brown sugar Pop Tarts. I thought you were referring to brown nipples, when in fact it was just the brown sugar Pop Tarts.
Yeah, brown. Oh God,
You
that
do
stuff is
experience
nasty.
some jungle fever. That is just that hysterical. Anyway, enough about the pet thing, though. I'll tell you what, though. I will allow the genie thing. This is the last we'll say of this. I'll allow the genie thing if it's tiny.
Okay. So Jiminy Cricket.
Fair. Yes, that is fine.
Okay, Jiminy Cricket sized genie. I'll use 2 wishes and then leave it having blue balls for the third.
All right. Now you're really taking this whole no sex thing serious, aren't you?
Well, yeah, because my first wish would be to have all the powers of a genie.
Well. What if it ixnays that right from the start?
Why?
Well, I don't know, because it watched Aladdin and learned its lesson.
I mean, I'm not going to wish to be a genie. I'm just going to wish for the powers of a genie.
I think the same principle still stands.
Um,
They seen what Jafar did, dude, and that just wasn't cool.
all right, well, maybe Jiminy's been in an umbrella stand too long. to seeing Aladdin. You don't know.
So what you're saying is, if you can't get the powers of a genie, you no longer want a genie.
No, I'll find a way around it. I always do.
What if you could be married to the genie and you don't have to worry about the number of wishes you have?
What court, what church would marry me to a genie?
The kind that didn't know it was a genie.
Ooh, Pastafarian wedding.
What?
A Pastafarian wedding.
So speaking of miniature things, because I'm done with this conversation.
Man, I'm YouTubing that now. I want to see if there's actually recordings of a Pastafarian wedding. I want to know what they look like.
The NES Classic came out.
Okay.
Miniature system, right? Miniature NES, yeah.
Oh, okay, nice. I go good. Yes, segue.
Nice. Good. Sold out everywhere.
Yeah, unbelievable, right?
You cannot find one of those things right now. What?
Well, you could, but you have to spend like thousands of dollars on it.
Sure. I mean, at what point?
Fuck that.
At what point do people not realize? Oh my God, I can literally play these games on my phone with the proper emulator.
Yeah. Like you can. They're like the only reason to have it is to say that you have it. You have the capabilities to perform whatever function it was going to do. You can play those games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, I
I
don't
why
get it
it's
either.
sold out everywhere. Like, I understand the appeal. I just don't understand the appeal being so strong that no one else can have one right now.
Yeah, absolutely unbelievable. Like,
But that comes with the terms of something selling out because no one knows how, light something is going to be until it's out. I'm sure Nintendo didn't expect, everyone to go, I must have this.
probably not. By the same token, like, who are they trying to cater to with it?
I mean, it has to be like our generation and older.
Hipsters.
Hipsters too, maybe. Yeah.
Hipsters.
Yeah. Is there anything else? Any sold out moments that you remember? Come to the top of your head?
God. Okay. So I remember back in the day the Tickle Me Elmo craze was all over the place. Now I was not old enough that. Well, I should say I was too old to be satisfied with a Tickle Me Elmo. If my mom at that age got me a Tickle Me Elmo, I would look at her cross-eyed and wonder which part of this do I put my penis in.
Yeah. Now, if if one happened to stumble into your room without anyone knowing, that's a whole different story. But if your mom bought it for you,
I have lewdly played with other children's Tickle Me Elmos.
Jesus.
I have paired him with Barbie in most fantastical ways.
Those comments are the comments that were lacking without you here. Last week's episode, when I did it by myself, I'm just like, I'm not going to edit this because I don't want to listen to myself. Cringy me the entire, I just knew I was going to cringe every time I heard it. Because I know me talking to myself is just going to be stupid. So I was like, I'm just going to record it. I'm going to just put it out there. And there it is. That's why.
Same thing I do with my penis.
This is why I'm glad you're back, though, Andy. It's nice. Don't ever leave me again.
Good to be back, Mr. Hidebiter.
Yeah. So, Tickle Me Elmo.
High fighter?
Lylander! Lylabeth?
I could not believe that that's not short for something.
Yeah, I don't, yeah.
'Cause you Lylabeth!
So, is it just Tickle Me Elmo, or,
No, shit. So Tickle Me Elmo, the first gen of Tamagotchis.
Yeah, I was going to say Tamagotchis, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember being a kid wanting a Tamagotchi because there were kids at school that had a Tamagotchi, but I didn't have a Tamagotchi. And damned if I wasn't going to let my digital pet die on me too. So I had to have one.
Here's the thing. I was poor, right? There's no denying that. Growing up, we were poor, very poor.
Was.
Somehow, somehow I had, somehow I had a Tamagotchi though, and I don't know how it came to be because I remember that was like a huge craze. Like everyone
Yeah.
had, and a lot of places sold out of them. But somehow I had one. I don't know. I guess I just got lucky because they weren't expensive. They were like maybe $20, if that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I had one, and I still don't understand what the appeal to them was.
Yeah, neither did I. I mean, every time I looked at the damn thing, there was poop in the screen.
Yeah, every single time it had
Every time.
three
Digimon
piles,
didn't make that much poop.
3 piles of shit, and it was hungry every time.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, okay, I was a kid with a short attention span, okay? Like,
Kid,
I was off doing bigger, better things after I got done feeding my Tamagotchi. I
like
was
Tickle
like,
Me Elmos.
if you only knew. So like after I got done with it and put it away, I didn't expect to touch that thing until tomorrow when I remembered I had one.
Like
Like
Tickle Me
I was
Elmos.
expecting, yeah, like that.
I'm sorry, I'm done, I swear.
No, you're not. Not at all.
No, not at all. Um, yeah, no, and like even in my adult life, like there are times where like I run into things that I want that I just can't possibly have when it's available. For instance, when the current generation of consoles came out, you couldn't get those on release day. You
No,
couldn't. Like, I wasn't gonna drop the $400 or $500 during the pre-order season to pre-order one.
no,
No,
absolutely not.
no, because I
Especially,
knew
I
they were
mean,
gonna come down in price.
yeah, you knew they were going to come down in price. You didn't know how great they were going to be right away because you knew there was going to be patches and stuff like that. So it's like, why would I drop this kind of money just so I can say I was part of the patch that didn't work properly? Like, I'm going to wait for it to be fixed and come down in price. Then I'll buy one. That's the way I look at things now.
And I would look it all over. Like, I tried ordering online. I tried like physical stores. Nobody had one. Nobody. Finally got a hold of one. Finally. And it is still in here in a mantle of reverence on my shelf, waiting to be replaced by the next one next year.
Sad, sad person.
You
Um,
know,
you remember? How about Furbies?
I was never big into Furbies. Um,
I mean, me neither, but they were crazy with being sold out.
they
I still
were.
have.
I I It was less fun to play with than the Tickle Me Elmo.
Its beak didn't open wide enough. Is that the problem?
Yeah, it wasn't
Or
nearly as cushy.
or did the beak open too wide?
Choke you with my dick. Um, it was its made up language that annoyed me, and I kind of had nostalgia for like the Teddy Ruxpin when it was around because it had that same kind of lifeless life imitation that was just like oh hey, there's a kid. I talk to you. Ete Coco, and I'm like, Okay. And then when I slept at night, it was like the one eye open thing. It was like, are you gonna do anything?
Yeah.
No? All right, fuck, never mind. You're not cool at all. You just say gibberish and like make weird little whirring motor noises whenever you do something.
Yep. I didn't understand the craze myself.
No. Although I did have a sold out experience of one thing that I swear it's never happened to me before to the point where I actually blinked at the person who told me that it was sold out. And I'm like, what? Come again?
What was it?
It was tickets to a show in a theater.
Like a movie theater show? Is
Yeah,
that what you mean? Yeah. Okay. Which
yeah.
one?
Okay, so it was The Force Awakens.
You were
But
shocked about that.
well, hang on. It was a month after it already had come out. And it was like a Wednesday matinee.
All right. Yeah. All right. I could see that.
like, it was the most inconvenient time that somebody would actually go see a movie. And, when I was like, because I went with my friend Zach, and you are, oh, God, why are you wet? Ah, oh, you're like the little thing from The Ring. Ugh.
It's not my fault. Mommy asked me to.
Well, your mother's.
You son of a bitch. Get over it. I fully admit to that.
So, dry off. Not on me. I feel like I need to specify that. Do that shit to me again, I'm gonna shave you. So the only part of you is water resistant. Replace all of your bottles with Nair. You know, right? Imagine her completely hairless.
She was that way for a year. I don't need it.
Like some sort of weird naked Furby.
Like Sphinx.
Ew. Yes. Gross.
They are gross. And they feel weird.
I've never pet one.
You never pet one?
No. I just assumed it was a gremlin and would eat me.
Are we still talking about the child?
Yes.
No, we were talking about Sphinx Cat.
Well, I was talking about the child.
Oh my god. You gotta go back and play Minecraft.
Yeah, go back. Go to your. Go to your wet corner.
Aren't you glad we stopped by live?
Immensely.
So, matinee showing.
Right.
Right, yeah. So, I went there with a friend of mine, and we ended up going to watch it, and with to go see it, it was just like, oh yeah, we'd have 2 tickets for the showing of, Star Wars: The Force Awakens. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, that show is sold out. Wait, what? I have never heard that response back. It's so robotic. I've seen so many movies over so many years that the appropriate response is, okay, that'll be $1 million, please. Like, no, it was, I'm sorry, that showing is sold out. You can catch the next one. You said Swedish words to me. But
Have
whatever.
you seriously never been to a movie that got sold out?
Never.
Really?
Never. I have never gone to a showing that was sold out.
That's crazy because, like, I think Civil War was sold out when I went. I know Avengers 2 was sold out when I went. And that's how they get you with the, oh, that one's sold out, but if you want to see it in 3D, that one's good.
Yeah.
That's not sold out yet. You have about 10 more minutes,
I saw one movie in 3D and it was worth it.
Oh, yeah, which one?
Oh, Pacific Rim. I said that if I wanted to watch a movie about giant robots fighting giant monsters, it needed to be an IMAX 3D. And I was not disappointed.
Fair.
Oh! It's like, I'm circumcised, thanks. Like, that's a weird service to offer in the middle of all this.
What in the goddamn is happening now?
Tried to circumcise her. I told her no thanks, I had one.
Telling my husband I offered to circumcise you would go over real well.
Well, don't tell him.
Oh, he'll hear it on the podcast. Have fun.
You're such an asshat, too.
Hi, Rob. Hi, Carla.
Okay, what would Carla say to that one?
There's something to shave. Get out of here. So, do you have any sold out stories?
I do. I'm glad you asked. Out of nowhere, Andy. So,
Oh my god.
one year for Christmas, one thing I wanted was my aunt and uncle. They used to. I'll make this quick because I have a feeling I'm going to be explaining it again very soon. In about a month or so. My aunt and uncle would make this deal up where we would actually have to write out a list of a bunch of things that we wanted for Christmas. Some of them were big gifts, some of them were small gifts, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. One of the things that I wanted that year, for some reason, was an electric scooter. Yeah, wasn't old enough to have my driver's license yet or not, obviously, or anything like that. Like, I don't know, maybe 14, 15 years old. I was like, I want an electric scooter. That's what I want. I looked into it, and evidently you didn't need insurance for an electric scooter. You needed one for a sit-down gas one. But for a stand-up stand-up electric one, you were fine. So
Okay.
that's what I wanted. Anyway, so we went and searched all over the place and finally found some place. I think it was somewhere in Deptford that said they had one left. We'll take it. Absolutely yes. So we got it, and I had to wait till Christmas, and Christmas finally came, and it was obviously wrapped up or whatever. Um, so I rip into this thing, and I'm just like, oh god, I can't wait. So I had to charge it. So it's charging. Finally, it's done charging. I think it was like not until the next day that I finally took it out after a good solid charge. And I'm driving the thing down the road, and I just feel so damn cool. I'm like, oh my god, I don't have to pedal at all, and look how fast I'm going. So excited about it. Like that just the wind blowing in my, at the time I had hair, and the wind blowing in my hair. And I was just so damn excited about it, right? And I was going to go all the way to my friend's house, um, to show it off and discuss it with him and everything, where I would typically ride my bike and hang out with him. But I was like, you know what? Let me turn it around and let me actually call and see if he's there or not. Because if not, I'm going elsewhere with this bad boy. Like I don't have to pedal. We're going places.
Right.
So I turned around and I didn't even make it halfway to his house yet. So I turned around and I'm starting to head back. And as I start to see my house in the distance, I start smelling something, and I'm like, well, that's not me. And if it is me, I'm concerned that I might be part bionic because it smells like an electrical fire.
Right.
Sure enough, I look down and the damn thing's smoking.
Oh my god.
So I walk it back. um, and by the time I get it back to the house, it is full blown in flames now.
Oh jeez.
Like not big flames, but
Right. It has a body to it.
yes. And I am extremely concerned. So I immediately run into the house, start panicking, tell my uncle, my scooter's on fire, my scooter's on fire. So he's running out with me, and he sees how small of a flame it is. He's like, all right, no big deal, we can take care of this. He puts it out, and he's just like, what did you do? And I'm like, what do you mean, what did I do? And he goes, why did it set on fire? I was like, well, I just rode it up the street, went to ride it back, and that was it. I was just kind of trying it out. I didn't really gun it or anything like that. Like, regardless if I did or not, why is it catching on fire? Like, this isn't good. Take this thing back.
Yeah, like.
So he was like, all right, I'll take it back tomorrow. So the next day came around and we drove and we took it back and I said, no big deal. I want one that's not going to, kill me. Give me another one.
Yeah.
We don't.
All things that children want is toys that won't kill them.
Yeah. And the response I got was, we don't have any. You took the last one. That was a month ago.
Wow.
Yeah, we haven't gotten any since. Every one that we have gotten was already claimed because everyone wants one. Well, when are you expecting to get any? Well, I could put you on the list, but that list goes all the way to February. All right. Is there any other options we have here? Well, I can interest you in a gas scooter, which I already knew was out of the question because you would need I think it was either a license or insurance or something. You needed something to ride that, some sort of legal document saying that this was okay to ride. So I was like, nah, I can't do that. Well, the only other thing we can offer you is a full cash return. And my uncle looked at me and said, look, if you don't want to wait till February, I'd understand. Take the full cash return, get yourself something else for Christmas. Okay, I'll do that. So at first we were like, let's look around for another electric scooter. So we did that very day, and they were sold out everywhere. Still.
Wow.
And everywhere was pretty much giving me the same response. Yeah, you have to be put on a waiting list. It's going back to February, March. I think one place was mid-January. Just no, I'm not doing this. No one I know has these things. Why are they so hard to get?
That's what I want to know on some stuff. Like, if they're sold out, why haven't I seen another human being with one?
Yeah. So I did the only thing that I knew to do, and I was like, you know what? I heard Microsoft just made a gaming console. I think I'm going to get one of those. And I bought an Xbox. The original big black beast things.
Oh, yeah, it just turned 15, yesterday.
God,
or
is
the day
it
before.
that long ago already?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm old. Well, that would make sense. That puts me at about 15 then,
Yeah,
because I'm 30 now.
yeah, that's what made me think of it. Basic math.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Um. Yeah, but I didn't have that. I didn't have that very long either. I didn't like it. I was like, this isn't my GameCube, and it's certainly not my PS2. I don't want this. I got it because I thought I would enjoy a new Toe Jam and Arrow game. I, in fact, did not. The store can have it back.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't really fall in love with it either. I did love the original Halo.
I
Um,
I didn't like the Halo games. I wasn't a fan of first-person shooters at the time. I was a fan of Doom, and I was a fan of GoldenEye on the 64. But aside from that, nah.
oh, you elitist snob.
No, nothing elitist about it. Quite the opposite, actually. I was more into fighting games and 2D side scrollers.
I miss Bloody Roar.
Oh my god. I loved Bloody Roar.
Oh, who's your main?
um, God, I can't remember his name. The Wolf?
Yugo.
Hugo, yes, Hugo. Yeah.
Yeah, mine was the mole. I loved Bakuryu.
Of course it was the mole. I kind of figured it would either be the mole or the bunny rabbit.
Actually, I used both.
Of course you do.
Alice, yeah,
Yeah, Alice, that was her name, yep. Yes. So,
and Stun the insect.
I'm not so sure I remember him.
Yeah, he was the big Hercules beetle.
Ah, yes. Oh, yes.
Oh yeah.
So, what do you say we jump into some other big muscular topics?
Ooh, yeah, because after talking about electric scooters and old fighting games nobody remembers, I totally am in the mood to talk about big manly macho things.
Like football.
I thought you were gonna say the Undertaker's return to SmackDown, but sure, yeah, we'll talk about football.
Was not going to say The Undertaker's return to SmackDown. I think you know that I wasn't going to say The Undertaker's return to SmackDown. If there was ever thing that you knew more, it was that I was not going to say The Undertaker's return to SmackDown.
Yeah, see, okay, so I'm gonna do this next year. Um, After the football season wraps up, I totally want to reverse positions here because I want to give you the rundown of matches of wrestling pay-per-views, and you need to give me your picks for the winner.
Yeah, but does that happen once a week?
um, it could.
Okay. I
I mean,
mean,
they have two pay-per-views a month, and then there is the subsequent the in-between shows that kind of like they're not pay-per-views, but there's still main event stuff going on.
oh, okay, I got you. Well, I'll put it to you this way. The regular football season only continues to 18 weeks, and we are going into week 11.
Yeah, it is wrapping up soon.
Yeah, it's wrapping up. So, I mean, we could still do a playoff thing, but there's not going to be nearly as many games being played, so the segment's not going to be as long.
All right.
I mean, we'll see how it goes. We'll play it by ear, right?
Yeah, I'll play a game, you rogue.
So, last week, Andy was not man enough to overcome a little cold that he had.
Man enough. I got a lollipop, fucker.
Did you notice I called you a little bitch on last week's episode?
Yeah, you did. I mean, the way I felt, you weren't that far off.
So I took it upon myself to carry on tradition and said, you know what? Against my will, I will return triumphant, hopefully, and come back to the football pool. And hopefully I am not wrong in thinking it'll be triumphant. And, I can come out and go, Andy lost 3 weeks in a row. The only sensible thing to do is to go against the very last person that he lost against, Seifert. And then afterwards, me and Andy shall have our match yet again.
Kick a man when he's down. I see how it is.
Well, I mean, you like wrestling. So,
Eh.
all right, game one. I'll go through this relatively quickly. Was Cleveland at Baltimore? Excuse me, Andy's back. I have to use the team names now. Browns at Ravens. We both picked the Ravens. The Ravens won. Next up, we had the Chiefs at the Panthers. We both picked the Chiefs. The Chiefs won. Next, we had the Broncos at the Saints. I picked the Broncos. Cypher picked the Saints. The Broncos won. And we had the Rams at the Jets. We both picked the Rams. The Rams won. So far, I'm undefeated. just want to throw that out there. Next up, we had the Packers at the Titans. We both picked the Packers. Somehow, the Packers lost. I bet you even the guys from Countdown to Geek Town could not explain that, and I hope they still listen because I haven't heard those guys in a little while. Actually, real quick, that's a lie. One of the guys from Countdown to Geek Town messaged me after Lunch Meat Seats, the last episode that you were on prior to this one.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned something about someone doing a album that was only in 8-track form or something along those lines.
Yeah.
He said that Foo Fighters released an album that was only on vinyl.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
I did not know that.
I forget what it was called. He sent me a link to it, but it was a covers album. It was an album completely done of covers that they did.
Huh.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. I was like, that's really neat.
Yeah.
So continuing on, we had where did I leave off? Green Bay and Tennessee, right? Okay.
Yep.
So next we had here we are, Atlanta Falcons at the Philadelphia Eagles. Naturally, I picked the Falcons. Naturally, the Eagles won. How that happens, I don't know.
They're a bigger bird of prey.
See, that was my problem. I wasn't. Next up, we had. God, I hate you. The Vikings at the Redskins. I picked the Vikings. We both picked the Vikings. The Vikings lost. Oh, by the way, we both picked the Falcons for that last one. I don't think I mentioned that, and the Falcons lost. Then we had the Jaguars. Oh, sorry, the Texans at the Jaguars. I picked the Jaguars. He picked the Texans. The Texans won. So, we're kind of tied now. We both went above each other for one game. All right? You with me so far?
So far.
All right, good. Then we have, I'm sorry, this is terrible. The Bears at the Buccaneers. See, I have my list, and then I have the list of games, because I want to get the, who's at who correctly, because you need to know who won what game and why they won that game. I want everything to be fair for our rematch into history here,
Right.
So the Bears at the Buccaneers. I picked the Buccaneers. He picked the Bears. Buccaneers won. Dolphins at the Chargers. I picked the Dolphins. He picked the Chargers. Dolphins won. San Francisco 49ers at the Arizona Cardinals. We both picked the Cardinals. The Cardinals won. Dallas Cowboys at the Pittsburgh Steelers. We both picked the Cowboys. Cowboys won. Seattle Seahawks at the New England Patriots. We both picked the Patriots. Patriots lost. And then finally, last but certainly not least, the Cincinnati Bengals at the New York Giants. We both picked the Giants. The Giants won. It leaves me with a record of 9-5 and him a record of 7-7. I was up by 2. I'm back, baby.
It was like you never left.
It was like I never left. But I did. And now I'm back. So I ask you, good sir. You're not going against an expert, so I don't have to do that. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Well, I mean, I am, but not one that you have on a list.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm not an expert. You're not going against an expert. So naturally, Andy, the only thing I have left to ask of you, the New Orleans Saints at the Carolina Panthers. Who do you got?
Missionary work should not be done in jungle areas where they're not welcome. I'm thinking that if the Saints are going to try to preach to the Panthers are going to see them for the meal that they are. So I'm going to give them to the Panthers.
Panthers. Oh, that was quick and painless. All right. Panthers. Next up, you have the Arizona Cardinals at the Minnesota Vikings.
Cardinals at the Vikings. Man, I don't see, in this kind of matchup, I really don't see Cardinals being too much of a threat to Vikings. I mean, they wouldn't even be distracted by their large, pretty colored feathers. They really won't do any damage. I mean, they're Vikings. Yeah, I would think that they're gonna just flap uselessly against their manliness and fall victim to like a backhand or something. So I'm gonna say the Vikings on that one.
Vikings.
Vikings.
Okay. Next up, we have the Buffalo Bills at the Cincinnati Bengals.
Buffalo Bills at Bengals. Not really sure what Buffalo Bills experience with cats are. I'd imagine that they don't. I mean, they really, I guess, could have dealt with polecats, which are mountain lions, for all you non-1800s frontiersmen. And yeah, I'm gonna say the Buffalo Bills on that one.
Bills.
Bills, yes.
Okay. Next up, we have the Chicago Bears at the New York Giants.
Bears at the Giants. Well, I mean, I guess relatively speaking, a bear to a giant would be about the size of a chihuahua is to a regular person. And a chihuahua-sized bear is really nothing to be, afraid of per se. It's still relatively cute and cuddly. Claws or no claws, I don't think it'll do enough damage to the Giants. I'm going to say the Giants on that one.
Giants.
Yes.
Smart man. Next up, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cleveland Browns.
Steelers versus Browns. Okay, so at one point or another, we covered that the Browns are essentially just forest folk. They are elves. They are the Fae.
Sure.
Sure. So in the spirit of that categorization, Steelers represent industry, Browns represent, elves and old, forgotten mythological things. So, industry usually crushes all that anyway, out with the old and in with the new. So in that regard, I'm going to say the Steelers are going to win over the Browns.
Steelers.
Yes.
Okay. I had no idea what you were going on about. Next up, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Kansas City Chiefs.
Ooh, Buccaneers at the Chiefs. Buccaneers are usually known for their rating. I mean, not as much as the Raiders per se, but it is something that they are proficient at. Definitely a lot better at attacking a turf than defending it. So while the Chiefs are also very much better on the offensive than they are on the defensive, so given two offensive teams are going at it, the person with the preemptive attack is the one that's going to win. So I'm going to give that to the Buccaneers.
Buccaneers.
Yes.
All right. Next up, we have the Baltimore Ravens at the Dallas Cowboys.
Ravens at the Cowboys. So the one thing about Cowboys is they are a superstitious and cowardly lot. And nothing is a little bit more gets on that nerve than Ravens, especially multiple Ravens. I mean, look at Edgar Allan Poe. I would think that frontier style superstition would get to them at some point, and they wouldn't know how to deal with the Ravens, and they would just psychologically just psych them out. So I'm going to say the Ravens over the Cowboys.
The Ravens.
Yes.
Over the Cowboys.
Yes.
Do you want to know why that's crazy?
No?
Of course you do. You see, I already have my list done up, and I didn't tell it to you because I don't want you to be convinced to take, a certain side that maybe you haven't thought of or whatever. And I don't want to wait until your list is done to do my list because I don't want to be convinced based off of what you're saying. Just in case.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to make things fair here. I actually picked the Ravens. And the Cowboys have the best record in all of football right now. They only have one loss. It was against the Giants. Anyway, they only have one loss. And I said, you know what? This is going to be the week that they get toppled. It's going to be by a team that no one expects to beat them, but can beat them, and that's the Ravens. And here you go saying whatever it is you just said, something about Edgar Allan Poe or some nonsense. I don't know. It just makes me feel more confident in my pick. Is I guess what I'm getting at here.
Okay.
Next up, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Detroit Lions.
Okay, clearly Jaguars have their strengths, but you can't mess with a jungle cat. Like, it just, you really can't.
I mean, isn't a Jaguar a jungle cat?
Huh?
Isn't a Jaguar a jungle cat?
Yeah, but I mean, that's like saying that, that lame leper can totally beat up a decorated knight of the realm. Like, yeah, they're both people, but one's clearly better.
All right.
Like, they're both jungle cats, yeah, but the lion is the king of the jungle cats. Like, you
Fair.
don't mess with the king. He is the Bruce Campbell to the Jaguars, Peter Dinklage. Both are cool in their own right,
Right.
but you got to give it to Bruce. So in that spirit, I'm going to say the Lions over the Jaguars.
So, all right. Lions.
Yep.
Okay. Next up, we have the Tennessee Titans at the Indianapolis Colts.
Titans versus Colts. Now this one's actually different for me. I don't think while the Titans are largely terrifying, massive supernatural beings of great awe and power, I actually think that they'll think that the Colts are kind of beneath them to pay attention to, and that's where the Colts are going to get them. They're going to just be just enough underfoot to trip them, and then gravity is going to do a lot of damage to them, much like you're afraid of it doing to you. So in that spirit, I think the Colts are actually going to get one over on the Titans. I'm going to say the Colts.
Colts. Next up, we have the Miami Dolphins at the Los Angeles Rams.
Ooh, no, Dolphins visiting Rams is not good because they're going to beach, and then the Rams are going to, they might headbutt them out to sea, but, they might actually only be half alive by the time they get there. And because they actually do need to breathe air, they might actually drown. Rams could possibly make Dolphins drown. That's a scary concept to me. But yeah, they don't have any business fighting that battle on land. If it was the other way around, I'd say the Dolphins would get it. But no, if Dolphins are visiting Rams, then no way. Rams totally have that game. I'm going to say Rams.
So up until the Lions and the Jaguars, I'm looking at our list and I'm like, damn, we only have 2 games where we're picking different teams. This is crazy. Like, are my picks that bad or is Andy that lucky? Because I know my picks should be good. And what's what here? And naturally he's going to pick all the same teams for this one too. Like, okay, yeah, he's no way is he picking the Colts over the Titans. No way is he picking the Rams over the Dolphins. Yeah, this is starting to look normal again. All right. Rams over Dolphins. So, next up, we have the New England Patriots versus the San Francisco 49ers.
Patriots at the 49ers. Actually, this one's a tough call for me. And I know that you're not going to know why.
I can.
But hear me out. hear me out here. Because 49ers essentially are Patriots. They are living the American dream. Making something of themselves, taking a risk and getting all the reward. So the idea that Patriots are going against the 49ers that's Civil War talk right there. The only difference is that Patriots they're true in their nationalism, but they can be wishy-washy to different things. 49ers are tried and true. They have one goal, one purpose, and one set function. So, this is a tough call for me. Yeah, but at the end of the day, Patriots are the what won over the 49ers because, I mean, the American dream died in some people's visions and regards. Yeah, I'm actually going to say Patriots on this one.
What was that? Patriots, you said?
Yeah, I'm going to say Patriots on this one.
Yeah, I was totally listening to that whole thing. Yeah. Something about cheeseburgers and the American dream. You got it.
Yeah. That was a tough call. It really was for me.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Philadelphia Eagles at the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, again, same thing with the Falcons game. Just Eagle is a much bigger bird of prey. And Seahawks, they are a pack bird, but, you could have 5 Hawks against one Eagle. The Eagle's still going to beat them. So I'm actually going to say the Eagles on that one. It's just a matter of nature.
I hope the Eagles lose because of the outstanding defense constantly swarming the quarterback. In other words, several Seahawks taking down one Eagle.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for. Anyway, next up, because they do in fact have an outstanding defense. Not that you would care. Next up, we have the Green Bay Packers at the Washington Redskins.
Packers at the Redskins. Oh, I'm thinking Village People.
Don't you always?
Well, how do I phrase this?
I believe the correct phrasing is If it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it is in fact a duck.
Well, I mean, because I was gonna say there's many things that the white man has given the red man over the years, and the last thing we need to add to the list is AIDS.
Seriously, that's my walk.
And the spirit of giving, I mean, if the Packers are the ones that are invading the Redskins here, then that's almost a certainty. I'm actually going to say that try as they might, they're not going to be able to repel it, and holistic medicine is not going to fix that. I'm going to say the Packers.
Packers.
Yes.
Got it. No. Yeah. Next up, we have the Houston Texans at the Oakland Raiders.
By the way, I can't wait to hear the all of 30 seconds that we could actually probably keep of that last one.
Was it bad? What did you say?
Editing magic.
Should I have listened? Should I listen now?
Wait, who's playing who now?
Good, you're not listening either. The Houston Texans are at the Oakland Raiders.
Oh, the Texans at the Raiders.
Yeah.
Trying to think of what would be more manly here.
What?
Well, hear me out, because the Raiders are normally an offensive team, but just because you catch Raiders on the defensive doesn't mean that they don't know how to hold their own. I mean,
I love that you know what teams are offensive and defensive.
Well, yeah, I mean, Raiders wouldn't be defensive, otherwise they wouldn't be Raiders. That's the whole point. They go into pillage.
Continue.
So with that being said, Texans, I mean, they're not really known for one thing or the other. In fact, if I were to put a Texan against a Cowboy, I'd say the Cowboy is a much superior Texan. But yeah, I think given in a battle between a Raider and a faux Cowboy, you're gonna go with a Raider. He's more true to himself and actually has his priorities in check, and his skills intact. So I'm gonna say the Raiders on that one.
Yeah, Raiders.
Yeah.
All right. Raiders. Okay, and just to go over real quick, that's all. So just go over my list real quick, so no one thinks I'm making them up on the fly when the games are happening or anything.
Okay.
I'm going with the Saints over the Panthers, the Vikings over the Cardinals, the Bills over the Bengals, the Giants over the Bears, obviously, the Steelers over the Browns. I mean, just so you know, the Browns have not won a game yet.
No, I know.
Okay.
I'm keeping track.
All right, I wasn't sure.
That's why I insist you tell me the wins and losses, like who won against what. That way I can keep track of that.
Yeah. They are the only team that has not won a game. One other team that I can remember of recent time, I'm not going to bother looking it up, but one other team has gone an entire season without winning a game, and that's the Detroit Lions.
Wow.
And that was actually recently, within the past couple of years. Okay, so where did I leave that? So yeah, Steelers over Browns, Chiefs over Buccaneers, Ravens over Cowboys. That is my upset for the week, and somehow Andy decided to pick the same one. Lions over the Jaguars, Titans over the Colts, Dolphins over the Rams, Patriots over the 49ers, Seahawks over the Eagles, Packers over the Redskins, and Raiders over the Texans. May the best man win, Andy.
Yeah, because we only have like a couple of them that are different, so.
Yeah, it's actually surprisingly closer than I thought it would be. So that I'm very much looking forward to this. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of miss going against you.
Did you miss me?
Sometimes, yes. Other times, not at all. When you get games right that should have never gotten right, I'm like, oh, I am so glad I don't do this anymore. But then, the past couple weeks, I've just been like, oh, I would have decimated them. Would have decimated them, and everyone would have been like, oh, Lyle is clearly the superior, sportsman. So, all right. How about some clickbait news?
I would love some clickbait news. I have been decidedly unnewsened lately, due to my illness.
I don't know what the hell you just said.
Not a lot of news getting to me. Just for some reason, people on Facebook don't like each other anymore, and I don't know what the hell all that's about.
Shut up, Andy. Shut up, Andy. God.
Snowflakes are crying.
I have several stories, actually.
Okay.
One I have is kind of old, but I want to throw it out there anyway because it's fantastic. And someone sent it in to me. A listener sent it in. And I
Okay.
want to make sure that it gets the credit it deserves. Because it's, like I said, fantastic. Although it is kind of old, so it's not exactly recent. But then the other two that I have. So one of them is kind of Florida, but it's not Florida.
So it's Kentucky?
It's Colorado, but it's a man from Florida.
Oh, about to say, because when you're like, it's Colorado, I'm like, you've seen a map, right?
And then the second one is Florida, and then the third one is not Florida at all.
I love how you categorize our clickbait news based on how close to Florida it is.
Shouldn't it be? I mean, shouldn't it be? Yeah. So, alright, I'll tell you what. I am going. They're all pretty good. I'm going to start off with this one, the Florida one.
Okay.
So Florida. Hmm. 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 Hmm.
Hmm. How do I phrase this?
Yeah. Okay. Tell you what we're going to do.
Okay.
So the Florida police arrested this guy, right?
Okay.
And he was naked. Yeah.
Seems to be the case.
He was driving. Where did he have? Um. What did he have attached to his genitals?
Oh. Um. Huh. So the first thing I'm gonna say is jumper cables.
Wow, that's close.
Is it?
Electrical wires.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
Right?
that was close.
Yeah. Good job.
Huh.
So, police in Boynton Beach, Florida, arrested a man Halloween who was allegedly driving his car completely naked. Well, naked except for the electrical wires protruding from his penis, according to WPBF, whatever that is. So a witness called police Monday night after he saw the allegedly naked man driving a Toyota slowly through a neighborhood. The suspect, later identified as 56-year-old Kurt Jenkins, allegedly drove by the witness and gestured at his own groin area. The witness told police he saw an electrical device with wires attached to Jenkins' penis, according to Local 10 News. Jenkins allegedly asked the man to get in the car. The man declined, but took a photo of Jenkins all wired up. The witness also said he saw Jenkins driving through the neighborhood several times, reportedly slowing as children walked by.
Wow.
Ugh. Police said
Uh,
police said when they stopped Jenkins' car, he exited wearing only a pair of red shorts, according to the Palm Beach Post. Jenkins refused to get on the ground, so one officer took him down by grabbing his wrist and utilizing what was described in the police report as a straight armbar takedown. He suffered facial injuries as a result. Officers brought the victim to the scene and positively ID Jenkins as the person who exposed himself. He also showed the photo he took of Jenkins completely naked except for the electronic device attached to his penis. The exact details of the electronic device allegedly on Jenkins' junk were not included in the police report. He was booked on charges of lewd and lascivious.
what?
Lascivious. Lascivious?
Lis- yeah,
Exhibition.
lascivious.
Lewd and exhibition.
Wow.
Incident exposure of sexual organs and resisting a law enforcement officer. Here's the fun part. Jail records show Jenkins is currently in Palm Beach County Jail on $6,000 bail.
Wow. I mean, where do you even begin to analyze this? So a guy was driving around nude. Now my first thought when you said that was when somebody called in a tip like, yeah, this guy's driving his car naked. I'd be like, so? He's driving his car naked. Leave him alone. I mean, shit, if I could get away with driving my car naked every once in a while, I would. I mean, I got the heated seats. I'm good. Like, let me just go out on the town. I'll go through a drive-through naked. Don't even care. But, like, when he's like, okay, I've got my shit wired. Like, I love how they don't even explain what the hell was even
Yeah.
attached to him.
What could that even be?
I don't know. Like,
hey, hey. So I couldn't help but notice that this Nintendo Classic System is selling out pretty quickly, huh? It's micro, and you just plug it in through the wires, right? Well, I
I
got
see where
something
you're going with
attached.
this.
I got something attached to my wires that's pretty micro. You want to plug it in somewhere?
Yeah, I'm just taking my love radar out for a spin. Picking up a vibe that you're putting down, huh? You want to get in the car and I'll give you a Furby?
God.
You can't find these anywhere.
No, no, you can't. Okay. So next up, this one is this is the one that a listener sent in. I'm going to be pretty simple with this one. Why
Okay.
why was the Pee Wee football team kicked out of the league?
Because they were caught drinking.
Pee Wee football. No. They got kicked out because they were sneaking in a grown man as a player.
What?
As if 2016 couldn't get any weirder. Now we have this. This is how the article starts off. A story right out of the movie Benchwarmers. The founder of a Rhode Island youth football team has been expelled from his league after the coach of that team put a grown man into a game against 13 and 14-year-old players. Before we go any further with this, I am going to share with you what this gentleman looks like.
Okay.
Here he is. Note the facial hair. This is one of the other players here. This is him.
Um,
Here's another shot of him. More facial hair.
yeah, how the hell?
What made him think he was going to get away with this?
Yeah, like, how do you. That doesn't make any sense to me. But alright, sure, he had a grown ass. Did he know him?
I'm going to assume so. But the story gets better. Hold on. So Capital City Buccaneers founder Alexandra Diaz says she helps.
Ah!
Andy's last name's Diaz, folks. Says she had stepped away from the Sunday game in the city when the coach let the young man, believed to be at least 18, take part in several plays before getting kicked out. We noticed his arm tattoos, facial hair, one parent told W Pro. Not like a normal 8th grade student. You think?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Uh, WJR WJAR TV reports the Providence team had been losing when the incident occurred. Parents spotted the man suit up on the sideline. Diaz says the coach took full responsibility and has been fired. She says the varsity team has been stripped of the remainder of their season. The league's vice president tells the TV station the decision has been made to remove the team indefinitely. The best part, he only had one carry and was tackled for a loss. Uh,
Oh man,
yep.
that is great. That is karmic justice right there.
Yeah, I thought that was great. So that's. I mean, dude had tattoos and facial hair. Clearly, at least 18 years old, and he was no slouch either. He's a big looking dude. Possibly looks like he's been to prison before. And somehow, some way, you know, he just doesn't only come in, but he comes in and fails.
Yeah, I can imagine that. It's like, all right, everybody, let's have a good game. Yeah, coach. Yeah, coach. Yeah, coach. Wait, get back here. I mean, I've heard of puberty hitting you hard, but like, puberty doesn't give you tattoos.
No, it doesn't. I'm not gonna lie. I had a pretty decent size, at least facial hair when I was in 8th grade.
I thought you were gonna brag about your penis.
No, I was not. But 8th grade, I definitely had facial hair.
I did not. I didn't get facial hair until I was well into my 20s.
Really?
I honestly, like, I didn't actually. I had a 5 o'clock shadow forever, and it didn't even seem right to shave it because what was the point?
Right.
But the time that I did, it didn't grow back for like ever, and like it didn't actually start becoming a recognizable mustache until like I was 22, 23.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the next story is by far it's fantastic, and I just know you're gonna have fun with this.
Oh,
This is the one that takes place in Colorado with a gentleman from Florida. Why, oh why did the Florida man have sex with the horse?
well, obviously because the horse was leading him on.
I'm going to share my screen now because I want you to read this. And I'm going to read it as you're reading it. Florida man caught having sex with horse at Colorado ranch claims it's seduced him. And he got it, folks. Claims it seduced him.
oh my god.
I knew,
Oh, why?
I knew this was going to happen one day.
Oh my god. That is not a real claim you should make to officials.
So, a 36-year-old Tallahassee man on vacation in Colorado has been caught by the owner of a dude ranch engaging in intercourse with a horse. The
Oh
incident,
my god.
the incident took place in the small town of Conifer, about 30 miles southwest of Denver.
Conifer?
I guess that's what it is. Conifer.
Yeah, conifer. It's a type of tree.
Oh, well, whatever. It's about 30 miles southwest of Denver, at a
Wow.
ranch which is popular with tourists hoping for a taste of hiking, rafting, and horseback riding.
Oh, he got horseback riding, all right.
The accused man, Kevin Hall, had checked into the ranch for a week's vacation after spending his first day on a gilded horseback tour through the surrounding mountains. Mr. Hall
Funny
retired.
way of saying unprotected.
Mr. Hall retired early to his cabin, saying he was too tired to join the other guests at the ranch for a campfire dinner.
Well, that was proven a lie.
Early the next morning, the ranch's owner, Mike, heard a commotion from the stables. There was a lot of noise. I feared a wild animal had broken in and was attacking the horses, he told Denver Inquirer. I rushed out in the darkness to see what was going on. The sight that confronted the rancher as he entered the stable was completely unexpected. Working on a ranch, I've heard stories about some sick freaks that have sex with animals, but I have never seen it in real life, and it was just a disgusting thing to see right in front of me. Mike claims he saw Mr. Hall in an intimate position with a mare, the same one that he had rode during the day.
All right. All
I
right,
sh-
no, I see this because during the course of the hike itself, the horse could have been working on him, wearing down his sensibilities.
I shouted out to him, "Get out of there and
A horse fucker.
get out of there and get your clothes on," says Mike. After he was decent, I asked him what the heck he was doing. He looked me in the eye and said, "I couldn't help it. She seduced me when I was riding her today." "You are batting 1,000, sir." "I just had to have her," he said.
oh shit.
A visibly shaken Mike continued, "It's just sick. Sick and depraved. I don't know if that kind of thing is tolerated in Florida, but it's just not right."
Yeah, no, that shit happens all the time in Florida. That shit is the norm.
The word is there. Oh, that's beautiful. All right. Oh, that was good.
oh my fucking god.
After
Oh.
I'm not done. After he recovered from the shock, the rancher told Mr. Hall to get out of the property immediately, and the next morning he reported the incident to the authorities. In Colorado, sex with animals is classified as a Class 1 misdemeanor for first-time offenders, and as such, the accused could be required to complete a treatment program if charged and found guilty of the crime. As of press time, no charges have been filed against him, and it is believed that he has already returned to Florida. And Mr. Hall's defense that the horse seduced him brings to mind an argument used by another high-profile case of human-animal liaisons. I'll go over this pretty quickly. During the 1970s, a journalist named Malcolm Brenner allegedly pursued a sexual relationship with a bottlenose dolphin named Dolly. Mr. Brenner claims that the Dolly rubbed herself against him before positioning herself for intimate contact. His claims were the inspiration for a novel, Realm of the Wet Goddess, and a 2015 documentary titled, appropriately, Dolphin Lover. However, legal experts maintain that sex with animals still constitutes as an act of animal cruelty in Colorado, even if the animal in question is guilty of, quote, seductive behavior. Being seduced by an animal is not a defense that would stand up in any courtroom in this state, and rightly so, said Wayne Fullerton, a lawyer with a Denver-based firm. I think the prospects for a conviction against Mr. Hall over the matter are high. Wow.
Wow. Wow. It was the horse, I tell you. I was seduced. I was lured into the lair of the game trail goddess.
Here's the messed up thing. This is the picture they chose for the article.
Yeah, right? I mean, God, she's seducing me.
It's a picture of a horse.
Look at those come-hither nostrils. Like, that horse clearly wants it. She's even spread-eagled on the fence.
That's what I mean.
Like, yeah, that horse is clearly just holy shit. I just want to have sex with something.
You know I'm going to edit everything else around there and just leave the part where you say, I just want to have sex with something.
It would not surprise me, Lyle. Would not surprise me.
The whole thing is just going to be you stuttering and just, I just want to have sex with something. Oh, that's funny. Anyway. So, in terms of naming this wild ride that we've been on, I vote Come-Hither Nostrils.
It has to be hyphenated.
Like all three words have to be hyphenated?
No. Just come hither.
Okay, so Come-Hither is... Oh, okay, I see. Come-Hither Nostrils.
Yeah.
Hyphenated, nostrils being a separate word.
Yeah, because come hither is the adjective.
Now, do I spell come C-O-M-E or C-O-M?
Oh my god. Oh, for some reason I'm getting a picture of this horse just sneezing semen.
I changed my mind. I want sneezing semen to be...
Oh, just, oh god, it would just leave a mess everywhere. No! It got all over Dolly.
Alright.
Oh, man.
So, I'm leaving it up to you. Is it Come-Hither Nostrils, or is it semen sneezing?
I actually kind of like the sophistication of come-hither nostrils.
Whatever. It is 100% your choice.
Yeah, no, totally gonna go with come-hither nostrils.
Alright, just know semen sneezing was a runner.
Yeah, no, it definitely was.
Or even all over Dolly, but
Over, under, however you want to do it. Oh.
Alright. Bears the question though, is it O-M-E or U-M?
O-M-E, please.
Okay, alright.
Those come-hither nostrils.
Oh,
man.
that, ladies and gentlemen, will do it for episode 17, or so Andy tells me.
Yep.
You see, last week I didn't know what episode we were on. That's because Andy wasn't here. Andy keeps me updated on what episode we're on.
Yep, just like I always remember our anniversary. Every year.
Mine's coming up actually, my wedding anniversary.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. Actually, a week from today.
Yeah, I only ever know the date that,
I'm sorry. That's not correct. Today is not Tuesday. 6 days from today. It's the 22nd. November 22nd is our wedding anniversary, me and my wife.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Something to be thankful for.
The fact that a woman actually found me attractive enough to say yes.
Oh no, that you I was gonna say that you bugged her enough to say yes.
Because there's a lot of things I thank her for still to this day. Like,
she didn't gain love, she lost patience.
after an intimate session with a woman, most people will just be like, oh, yeah, especially if they're married. Oh, I love you, sweetie. Oh, I love you too. Not me. No, no, no. She might say I love you to me, and I just go, I love you too, and thank you so fucking much. I just start sobbing, sobbing and thanking her uncontrollably.
Yeah, in appreciation, you should probably give her a Blumkin.
And that will do it for week for episode 17 of the Side Splitters. You know, correctly titled Come-Hither Nostrils. My name is Lyle.
And I am Andy.
See you next week, folks.
Bye.